Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Co-op Podcast, episode 169. I'm your host, Rich Bailey Jr., and today I'm joined by Mr. Gary A. Swaby. What's up, Gary?
Hey, what's up, people?
Yes, we also have Mr. Charles Singletary. How's it going, Charles?
Greetings, everyone. Glad to be back on the co-op.
And we have Mr. Max Muller. How's it going, Max?
Pretty good. Nice to be here again.
Yes, excellent. So, we do have a couple of things to talk about this week. There wasn't really too much news, but before we get into any of that stuff, we are going to talk about what we have been playing. So, how about you go first, Max, and let us know what you've been playing?
Didn't have a whole lot of time to play a whole bunch this week. I'm still playing Pokemon Go whenever I can. I was playing a bit more of Kingdom Hearts Remix. I was playing some of The Crew, that racing game that came out like 2 years ago. I got it on Games with Gold, and it's kind of fun actually. I was impressed by it, and I might even buy the expansion. But other than that, I haven't had much time to play anything else, sadly.
That's quite all right. So you would definitely recommend The Crew is worth checking out, because I also downloaded it. I haven't played it yet.
Definitely, yes. I downloaded it and I was like, I'll play it for an hour, see how it is, and now I'm kind of hooked on it. Not gonna lie.
All right, I'm gonna have to try that out, because the last time I tried that out was during PAX East several years ago, and unfortunately, the demo station I was at wasn't working, so I didn't get to really play the game the way I was meant to play it. So definitely we'll give it a try and check it out. But
that's awesome.
That's
yeah, I highly recommend it.
Okay, that's good to hear. And now we're going to go on to Mr. Charles Singletary, another person who is into racing games as well. You can let me know what you think of The Crew as well as what you've been playing.
I didn't play The Crew. Before the game came out, there were just some things that kind of turned me off towards it. And I played the demo, and I was like, this is okay. I'll probably pass. The last racing game I played was Need for Speed, and that was a complete shit show. That game was terrible. But I'm looking forward to Gran Turismo Sport. I'm looking forward to Forza Horizon 3. Horizon 3 is probably my most anticipated right now, because I used to be heavily invested in sim racing games, but I've kind of went away from that to more forgiving arcade experiences, which Drive Club kind of floats in between that, and that was like the last racing game I truly enjoyed. Project Cars was cool, but it was quite complex. But beyond all that, I've been playing Endless Legend, which is this 4X strategy game on PC, Civilization, which is the same genre, and fucking Fury, which if you have PlayStation, it is on PlayStation Plus. Today is the last day. Well, if you're watching this live, today is the last day. If not, and you're watching this the day after we recorded this, you're shit out of luck if you didn't download it. But Fury by the Game Bakers is incredible. It's just just all boss fights. Like, that's all it is. There's 9 bosses in the game, and there's a story that's being told as you go through these fights. And it's once you get to a certain point and it clicks what the story is, oh man, it was fucking wonderful. Because like me and a friend, we just wanted to try it out last night, and I did the first one. I got through one shot. I beat the second one, and we were like, let's just see how it goes. And when I beat the third one, we were like, yo, what the fuck? This story is great, and we couldn't stop. And we didn't stop until I finished the whole game. So. Yeah, Fury is absolutely incredible. I'm still trying to get through a few games before No Man's Sky comes out, so I'm still trying to get through Pillars of Eternity, but I'm not going to be able to finish it by the time that drops. So, but yeah, that's all I've been playing lately.
All right, well, you definitely sold me on Fury, but let me go ahead and ask this question very quickly. So this is a game. If you have a lot of games already on your PlayStation 4, it's worth deleting some games to install this game.
Absolutely. Like, not only is the game just so much fun, The story is great. It's only like 3 if you're decent at these types of games, it's only going to be like 3 hours. And the type of game I'm saying is like you have to be good at like reacting very fast, memorizing patterns or recognizing patterns. If you're good at bullet hell games, that's going to come in handy big time because like they have sword combat, but they also have bullet hell stuff, and then some of the environments are a part of your experience too, where like you can fall off the map or get kind of trapped in a maze. Like just for an example, there's one maze area that you're running through and you're fighting a sniper, and you kind of have to, you know, avoid her shots while getting closer so you can fight her in hand to hand, while she's also sending these drones out to attack you as well. So it's every boss fight is so incredible and very different from the last. And honestly, the sword combat in that game, by the end of it, I was like, I just want a game with this shit. Like, just give me, like, take this combat, put it into, like, Afro Samurai or anything sword related, and I'm down. Like, sign me up.
Cool. Hey, no, that sounds good. I definitely need to try that out. I will download that immediately after this show. Give it a try. So, how about you, Gary? What have you been playing?
Yeah, just quickly, I've got Fury on the download list already, so I can't wait to play it now. Now that you know, Charles has kind of said his piece on it. But as for what I've been playing, it's been a very busy week for me, so I've only managed to fit in like a few games of Overwatch here and there. So yeah, still having fun with that game. I've put in like 50 hours in that game now total. So yeah, I love it. Definitely one of my favorite games right now. That's
Yes,
about it.
that sounds cool. And I just have to say that I must commend you, Gary, for surprising me by continuing to play that game, knowing that it really isn't. You know, it's only multiplayer. There ain't really anything else to look forward to. But you know, I commend you on that, good sir.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's only multiplayer, but it's like so unique and like it's really fun to play. Like, I mean, even I'm surprised that I still play it because usually I would have got bored by, you know, a shooter by now because, you know, it's not like shooting games, especially FPS ones, aren't like my genre of choice. Like, they aren't my go-to genre kind of thing. But I just find this game really fun to play, even without, because when I play on PC. I don't really have a lot of PC friends that actually play Overwatch, so I'm always playing with randoms and stuff, but I still find it fun. So, like, imagine if I actually had friends to play it with as well. Like, it would just be, you know, 10 times better, 10 times more enjoyable. So,
but,
yeah, it's
but
just a fun factor for me. It's a really
well,
great game.
well, I was going to say, you know, I know when I played the demo, the game does have some personality to it, so I can understand that. Uh, One final question I did want to ask though. So the new sniper that they added to the game, I believe her name is Anna.
Yeah.
Uh, how does that change the game? Does that make it even more of a game that you feel like you need to keep coming back to it because I know you want to try to master the new character's abilities, or how does that feel? Now,
Um, yeah, I mean, when I first saw the announcement of Anna, I thought she would like change the balance of the game just because of like her abilities, but she actually fits in kind of well. Like it's still really balanced. I've used her quite a few times, and I do like her. A lot of people complain because as a sniper, she's not as powerful as like a Widowmaker or Hanzo. But the reason is because Anna is she's a support character, so really she's there to provide support. So she doesn't when you get headshots with the sniper, it doesn't like instantly kill people. But that's because, you know, if that was the case for Anna, then people wouldn't even use Widowmaker or Hanzo anymore because, you know, Anna would be able to heal and she would be able to like damage people with headshots on as a sniper. So like, you know, they have to create balance. There has to be a reason to use all characters they all have their strengths and weaknesses. So you can't, give Anna the power to heal people and then, make her the best sniper at the same time. Like they have to consider these things. So yeah, those people that complain about Anna, like they don't understand the dynamics of the game.
Oh, that makes sense. So man, after listening to what you guys been playing, I definitely need to get up with the times and play some of the more recent stuff. Fury, absolutely. Overwatch, I know it's long overdue. So maybe, hopefully, I will get to try that out, sometime next month. But as for what I've been playing, I've actually been playing the same game that I've been playing for the last couple co-ops, XCOM Enemy Unknown. Um, as I mentioned on the last show, when this game first came out way back in 2012, I recall playing only the tutorial. I did not get into the actual game. So when it became free on Games with Gold, I decided to dive back into it, and game is absolutely fantastic. Um, it's a game where if you do a horrible job, and I know that if there was an alien invasion, well, I would definitely mess up a lot of stuff along the way because I played through the game the first time. I started to lose a lot of the partnerships with the countries because I didn't, I didn't send them satellite support in enough time, so they dipped out of the XCOM project. And of course, when you do that, the game ends once you get to 8. Once you let it, up to 8 different places leave the XCOM. So obviously that wasn't a good experience, but it definitely allowed me to want to come back and improve. And right now I'm on my second playthrough, and I'm doing a hell of a lot better than I was doing before. So I find myself very much enjoying these strategy games, which it basically allows you to get better or forces you to get better rather over time. You evolve with the game, which you learn how to play it. So I'm definitely looking forward to XCOM 2. Those of you that have already played this on PC, I already know how dope this game is because I know that y'all have said it. I know Charles is a perfect example of someone who has spoke about this. So I'm looking forward to trying it out on consoles in September. But absolutely, positively, the first game is fantastic. So I'm very interested to see how the second game is improved. So looking forward to that. But that's pretty much all we have been playing for this week. As you already know, it is still a summer gaming drought, which is officially about to end, starting later. I want to say August 2nd when Batman drops. So we'll have something to say about that next week. But that's all we've been playing so far. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the topics. As I already mentioned at the beginning of the show, there really wasn't a lot of news. It's like this is a dead news cycle. I mean, there was one major news story that Gary already did a react with JJ on about the Nintendo NX, and we will get into that later because a few of us, I'm pretty sure we got some thoughts on this particular topic. But before we get to that, we're going to go through a few other topics. So first and foremost, let's talk about a game that came out a couple of days ago, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Activision announced, I believe this was, I want to say maybe about a week or so ago, that they were going to be releasing a remastered version of Marvel Ultimate Alliance for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So Gary wanted to ask the question, if any of you guys are planning on picking up this game, because I have heard that there have been a lot of issues with these ports. So just curious to ask that question. If you're intrigued by this game, you plan on getting it. So how about you answer that question first, Gary?
Yeah, I've always been curious about these games because I remember people always saying they were pretty good, like back, last generation and stuff. But I never actually got around to playing them. But I did watch. I watched JJ's stream actually a few days ago, and he was playing the game, and it actually looks like something I would really like because it's kind of like that top-down Diablo kind of style, and I really like those type of games. And I'm really into like the Marvel universe now because of the comics and the movies and stuff. So yeah, this is definitely something I want to check out. But I've been hearing bad things about the ports, particularly on the PC. So I would really want to get it on the PC just so it's more convenient. So I might wait until they fix it because they did say they're gonna try and fix it and stuff. So I might wait and see how the patch is. Otherwise, I might end up deciding to get it on the PS4. But I guess we'll see. How about you guys, though?
I would suggest going with the console version because with the PC one, the original ports were bad, which is
Right.
why they're so bad now. So like they say that they're gonna fix them, but if they hadn't fixed them before, I doubt they'll do it now. But as far as me, I'm not gonna get them because I'm strictly on PC. But when I get into the house that I'm moving into with a few friends, we may get it because when it was out, when it was popular, we played the shit out of that game. I actually wish we would get more games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance and X-Men Legends. Like, give us more of that. It was so great when it was out, you know.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
have to agree with that. It was one of the first games that I actually got for my Xbox 360. I think it came with it in like the Marvel and the Forza 2 like kind of package. And it was really fun, but I'm probably not going to be getting it either because I kind of played it through back when I first got it, and it was cool. It introduced me to a lot of characters in the Marvel universe I wasn't familiar with, and I think anyone looking to explore the Marvel universe a bit more should definitely look into it.
Yeah. Is the second one as good as the first one? Because I hear that the second one wasn't as well received as the first one was.
Yeah, I heard
All
that
I,
too, and I was never able to try it.
all I remember was the second one was glitchy as all fucks when I
Was
Yes.
it
played it.
really?
Yeah, like there were so many quests that wouldn't start when you talk to people or people not popping up in the areas that they're supposed to show up in, or you'll finish a mission, but it doesn't register that you're finished. Like it was there. I think there was one point I walked into a room and like the boss instantly died in dialogue, and we just moved on to the next thing or some shit. It was really weird.
Did they ever fix it?
I don't recall that they did.
Wow, that's unreal.
Well, I actually have a very personal story about that second game because, you know, prior to me joining the Coalition, I started writing for a local blog, like a blog site that was started here in Georgia. And this was actually the second game that I reviewed for that blog site. Blog site is no longer in existence, so I can't tell you guys where the review was at. But yeah, all of those technical issues you mentioned, yeah, that to me was one of the most annoying things about it because it was great to see the new characters that I wanted to get familiar with. It felt like it was it felt like it had so much potential to be a great game, but unfortunately, all those issues took away from it. So, I did hear that I have seen rumors of another one that there may be a third game. I don't know if any of that stuff is true, so I'm not going to confirm it. But if it is a third game, um, I mean, I think that the timing would be ideal because, just like Gary said, the Marvel universe is a very big deal now with the films, the comics, everything. So Activision or whoever makes that game would definitely uh, be making a cash cow game. Of course, they have to make a quality game. You don't want to make a half-ass game, but if there is a third one in the works, it definitely would be great timing for whoever is involved. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, because I know, I think it was said a while ago that Marvel wants to, get back into the gaming and stuff, and maybe even make like their own gaming universe. So, do you feel like re-releasing these games is like the first step to, bring everyone into that?
Well, here's the thing. I think that I think I'm pretty sure that if they did decide to, I haven't played these new ports yet. I'm not really sure if I want to go back to it because if a lot of the issues haven't been fixed, then I absolutely don't want to go back to it. But I will say this: I think that that's an honorable gesture to put the game out. If it is better than the other ports, that's great. But to me, I think the game that is, when you made the comment about whether or not they would Marvel would seriously want to make a comeback and make some quality games, I think they're doing that now with how Spider-Man is being handled with Sony. I think that game is going to be a big deal because when we saw that at E3, that presentation, everybody was just, wow, this is awesome. So I think that right there is a great start if they want to start making more games. I'm not sure who the developers will be for the other games, but I think that is probably what a game everybody's looking forward to. But that's just my personal thought. I'm not sure what you guys think about that.
I'd have to agree with that actually, especially if a third game is coming out. I think that would just be unreal. I think that these games have a lot of potential, and especially since they were pretty early last gen, were they not? I think both of them were pretty early on last gen, so I think a next gen one with an actual team behind it, like a team known for making great games behind it, I think that would be unreal. I would buy that day one, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was damn near the launch titles before.
Yeah, I know the first one was, and then the second one came out pretty soon afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would love if they made their game universe like their movie universe, and you would have like standalone games for certain characters and stuff, and then like there would be games where they all come together, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance or whatever it is, Avengers or whatever they decide to do. Like that would be awesome if they did that with like their games going forward.
Do you guys remember the leaked footage of the canceled Avengers game, like the first-person one? Did you guys ever see that?
I never actually saw that, no.
Oh, it looked so cool. It was unfinished, but it was first-person Iron Man and Hulk and Captain America, and it was like a brutal kind of fighting 3D game. It was awesome. It looked really. I'll try and find it and link it in the chat. Actually.
All I want, because Punisher is one of my favorite characters. All I want is a Punisher game like Max Payne kind of style, like that.
Whoa, ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Would you play a Punisher game that's more like Hitman?
Yeah.
Yeah, or they could even mix it up where like some missions are like Hitman and some are just like fucking Dead to Rights or something.
Yeah, pretty much. I did like that. I think I'm one of the only people who liked that Deadpool game they made as well.
No, that was pretty decently received as far as critics.
I heard a lot of people saying that it wasn't a good game.
From what I remember, it was really good for Deadpool fans, and it was really good to the source material, but it as an actual game was just okay, according to critics, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do anything great as far as gameplay standards, but it's a really good Deadpool game.
Yeah, I do recall playing that game, the demo. Didn't get a chance to play the finished game. I need to go back and check that out also, because I know they re-released it on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So, I have to check that out. So, any final thoughts on this topic?
That's it from me.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. So, we're going to go now to Gary brought up this topic because he is a huge fan. So, we definitely need to discuss this. So, Capcom announced recently that they are working on a new Mega Man game. So, want to get you guys' initial thoughts on this announcement. How about you go first, Max? Let us know what you think about this news.
I actually hadn't even heard this news until right before the podcast, so I've been looking into it a bit, and I think that'd be great because I know that when's the last Mega Man game they came out with? I know they came out with Legends, like the kind of remastered versions, which I actually bought or I'm about to buy on Steam because I need to play those games. But I think bringing it to a modern crowd would be great. Do we know if they're doing like another 2D side-scroller one, or if they're going to try and do the 3D ones again? Do we know?
I don't think there's any news. They haven't given it any specifics yet. I don't believe.
Okay.
But I think that we'll probably get some news at some point later down the road. I'm not sure, even sure when this is coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of announced that they're doing it.
Well, yeah, I guess they're doing that 2D Sonic game, so maybe they'll be doing kind of the same thing with Mega Man. That'd be interesting. You know, Sonic Mania.
Yeah. Like how? Oh
yeah. You guys didn't actually didn't speak on that. So are you guys looking forward to Sonic Mania and what's the other game? Project Sonic 2017.
Oh yeah, that one's coming too.
Yes, absolutely. Mania for sure. I'm gonna wait on that other one though. It was weird.
Yeah, we have. That trailer was kind of weird. It reminded me. I was getting Sonic 06 vibes.
Yeah, there's like they're hinting at us playing like online with Sonic, like everybody's Sonic. I don't know what the fuck that was, but yeah. Just Sonic Mania though. That looked fantastic.
Sonic Mania looks awesome. I agree. Day one buy for me, assuming it isn't awful, of course. But
right.
Well, Gary. I know you spoke harshly about this title last week, so now you definitely may need to reconsider those words now.
No, man, I'm still skeptical. Sonic Mania.
Rightfully so.
Sonic Mania is my style of Sonic game because it's 2D and everything, but like I feel like they just didn't show enough new stuff. Like they kind of just played off of nostalgia a little bit and showing like levels and stuff that are in the old games. When I want something completely new, like that we haven't seen before, but in the 2D style.
Is that what you want? Are you sure that's what you want? Because you just got Mighty Number 9. Did you want that? You didn't want that.
No, I didn't want that. But now that you bring that up, I was gonna ask as well. Like, is Capcom making new Mega Man a slap in the face to like everyone who wanted Mighty Number 9?
I think so. I think like just look at the everything surrounding it. Like Kickstarter, they gave it a bad rep on there. Multiple delays, then it comes out and it sucks. And the allegations that the person that made it, that claimed to be a co-creator, isn't. Like, how could Capcom not capitalize on this moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, come get the real Mega Man now. Like, fuck that Mighty Number 9 shit. Like, they'll definitely capitalize well, as long as they don't try to change too much. Just give me Mega Man X, and I'm good. That's all I need.
Well, let me just say real quick, that new information you said about Mighty Number 9, I did not know about it. So I just would like to say, Number 9 doesn't sound so mighty now after I hear all of this additional information.
Now that sounds like a straight up scam now. That was a shakedown.
And allow me to say that I remain skeptical of Recore because again, you can't release a game like this and then I know he's been working on both of these games, so we'll see how that turns out in September.
Yeah, I really hope that game's good, but yeah, I gotta be skeptical.
All right, so any other thoughts on this Mega Man announcement?
No.
Not from me.
Yeah,
no, I got nothing else.
Yeah, until we receive more information, it just remains. This is what they announced. So we'll see if Capcom delivers. I don't trust them to deliver, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, so the next topic we're going to just get into uh, basically a discussion that Gary has already had with JJ on the React about this Nintendo NX leaked information. So, based on this information that we found out about earlier this week, now I will say again that this was a rumor, but again, it was reported on several credible sites as being like, yeah, some of the bigger name sites like Eurogamer. It was on IGN. It was on all the sites. But the news was that they described that the Nintendo NX is basically going to be a portable device with controllers, and it can be docked and hooked up to your television. So, Gary, you would like to remind people, what do you think about the NX? I believe you said that you are absolutely positively interested in this, but just give us a recap, and then we can give our own thoughts on what we think about this device.
Oh yeah, I'm interested. Like this is what I wanted the NX to kind of be, because like I'm not a big fan of Nintendo's consoles like the GameCube and the Wii U. I was never really a fan of those at all. But as far as their handhelds, like 3DS, Game Boy, all that stuff, I love their handhelds and I love the games that are on their handhelds. So like if this system, the NX, solves both problems, like it's a console and it's a handheld, then that's great to me. That's a great idea, I think. And if you have the entire library on one device, so like you got the Pokemon games, and then you also got your Smash Bros and Zelda and everything else, all the big Nintendo titles that people like, then that's great, in my opinion. So they definitely have me interested. So yeah.
All right, so let me just give my quick thoughts on this. Yeah, I do agree that Nintendo they do very well with their handheld devices. I recall when the 3DS first came out, just like with many consoles, sometimes it takes a while or a little bit of time for all the games to start dropping. But what I recall when the 3DS came out, there was a lot of titles that came out after that. You had Fire Emblem, and you had a ton of games. So I think that this is a good strategy for them to go along with the handheld market. As for will I buy one, I really don't think so. I mean, it all depends on the games. I believe we had a comment
Zelda.
Yeah, they will. Well, yeah, that's one game we know for sure is coming next year. But yeah, Gary, one of your favorite friends and commenter, Seth, said that it was all about the games. I agree 100% with that theory, because just like with Project Scorpio coming out next year, if Project Scorpio has games that I actually want to play, I may consider it. But then again, I'm still iffy on that because I know that those games will also work on the Xbox One and the Xbox One S. So, from what I recall, there was other news about some of the games they were making also working on the 3DS. I'm not 100% sure if that is accurate news, speaking of the NX. But, I mean, again, this is just early rumors. But if the device is a handheld and it hooks up to the TV, I think that's a great device. They know it may be perceived to be somewhat of a tablet, mobile market, but it's not really. I don't really think it is considered a tablet because a tablet like the iPad or most of these other tablets, these are like computers. You can do more than one thing on the device instead of just playing games. So that's just my personal thoughts. How about you, Max? What do you think about this NX news?
I think that if these rumors are true, it's a great idea. I think they took what they know works, which is the 3DS, and decided to just kind of make a console out of it. And assuming that the games follow through, like The Legend of Zelda looks freaking awesome. And again, like at E3, they said that they only showed 1% of it. That's unreal if that is true, and that's a system seller for me. Kind of, if the system is as good as the 3DS, and if they're really putting all of their balls into one basket here, because they've been very secretive about this thing, which makes me think they're putting their all into it. And I'm really excited to see exactly what it is. Not sure if I'm going to buy it right away, but it's definitely on my radar.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
How about you, Mr. Singletary?
Well, I think it was the last time I was on the co-op, and the last time I did the post-apocalypse podcast. We talked about the NX, and this is exactly what I wanted it to be. This is what I was like, hey, if they did this, blah 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 blah, I'd be all for it. And then this leaked, and I'm like, shit, this is exactly what I wanted because I said. I wanted something that is basically not a home console, but could be used in a home if you wanted to partner up and play with people. And from this leak, it seems like there's going to be a dock that you can put it on, so you can play on your home TVs, but it's going to be a portable device. Sign me up. Like if this turns out to be legit, which from the places that this is coming from, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a hoax. I am all for it. I do miss having a portable device. I never did get the 3DS. It was just kind of a matter of time for me on that one. But now that this NX situation is coming down, I'm all for it because I was talking to Tony. There was a big Twitter conversation about it where people were kind of one way or another. And I'm like, look, Nintendo could put itself, they've had the potential for a while to put themselves in the position to be the main console that everyone would have to have if they want the Nintendo experience because their first-party games don't go anywhere else. And they have a stronger set of first-party titles. Like, that's not opinion, that's fact. Because, people always talk about the Xbox and the Sony first-party games, but Nintendo's first-party games are the bread and butter of their company. Like, you may complain that they, overuse Mario or basically that and everything else, Zelda or whatever. But when those games come out, they sell, and they sell well, and they're done well. Like it's very rare that you get, if you've ever gotten a broken Mario game, a broken Mario Kart, a broken Super Mario Brothers, a broken Zelda game, like they have a ridiculous quality control for their games. And I've wanted to experience some of their other games that I hadn't had the chance to, like Fire Emblem, for example. And assuming that the ecosystem for the DS is going to be roughly the same as this NX device, I'm going to be able to experience all that. And that's the only place I'm going to be able to experience those things. And having it on the go, having it on a portable device, I'm all for it. And of course, with that, they're going to have to sacrifice a few things, visually. But when has Nintendo not done that?
Yeah.
Like that has been the case for them forever. Even this new Zelda game, it is pretty, but like put it up against some of the things that we're seeing on the Xbox One or the PS4 or the PC. They don't match up, but it doesn't matter. Visuals haven't been the factor for Nintendo since in Nintendo 64, like
kind of even, yeah.
Yeah, like barely. Like it's not a factor. They are about the gameplay. They want you to have fun, and that's it. And one thing Tony was saying, and it was just a matter of wording. It was kind of getting into the minutia of that. He was saying, yeah, if Nintendo's fine with being a secondary console, but I'm like, you call it that, but the Wii outsold everything. Like, call it a secondary console, but it was the console that everybody had, in addition to either the PlayStation or the Xbox One, if you were one of the people that didn't have both.
Yeah.
On to, for a console war conversation or fanboy conversations, you can say whatever you want. But when you're talking to investors and these stockholders, that's important. Like, everybody has this, and then they choose one of the other things to go along with it. Like, that is a big deal, and I hope that this is true, that they're going this route, because I think it'll be best for them. It'll look good here, it'll look good in Japan, and it'll translate everywhere else. I just can't wait to see what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. Great points all around. Yeah, so does anybody else have any more to add on this topic?
No, I mean, when do you think they'll come out and properly announce it? Like people were saying September there'll be a direct. Or what would you guys think? Because
Yeah, I have to guess September, October.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, because December would be a bit too late. Because if it's coming out in March, they need to build the hype up a bit earlier than that. And I think 6 months, 5-6 months is a good time to do that.
Yeah, I agree. They got to do it sometime soon for sure.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool if they just dropped it. Just like tomorrow, just drop the news. Don't even let us know they're doing it.
Uh-oh.
That'd be awesome.
Well, that'd be very interesting.
I hope it's reasonably priced. I have no reason to think it wouldn't be, but...
That is going to be a big hurdle for them.
Yeah. I don't know, because this technology doesn't look too expensive, assuming the rumors are true.
Because they're trying to sell us on this being the next major console, but people will think just because it's portable, it's going to have to be much more inexpensive. Like they're going to think that regardless of how well the DS is done and how ridiculous the collection of games is for the DS, everybody's going to be honed in on that price point. No matter how capable it is, that's what they're going to be looking at.
It's true.
Well, I can bet you one thing. It's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than the Neo and the Scorpio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
and man, there's just so many layers to how this could be really, really good for Nintendo, man. Like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, they have this and the 3DS.
Yeah. I'm sure they're going to have, as long as this comes out of the gate hot, I'm sure they're going to have third-party exclusives that are really well done. Because another thing that Tony always brings up, and not just Tony, a few other people as well that were in that conversation, is Nintendo hasn't done well with third-party support. While that is true, they've also done really well with third-party exclusives. Mm-hmm. Because games like, Xenoblade? That's a third-party title, but it's exclusive to them. Bayonetta was a third-party title that's exclusive to them. There are other games that are not in-house that are only on Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Like Sony and Microsoft have those same relationships, as does Nintendo. I guess Nintendo, it's harder to notice because they've been doing it this way for so long. And I think that that's going to continue to grow for them. And then, man, let it turn out that it's easier to develop for this thing too. Oh man, Sony and Microsoft is going to be a flip of the conversation where like everybody's like Nintendo's not even trying to compete. Sony and Microsoft are just going to have to ignore fucking Nintendo and not even try to compete in the mobile area. Like don't even touch that shit. Just let them have it.
I almost wish that Sony and Microsoft tapped more into the mobile market. I mean, Sony did with the PSP and the Vita, and the Vita was awesome. It just didn't sell well.
That was not a good attempt at all.
No, no, it wasn't. But I think it'd be interesting to see what they would do. I feel like none of them would ever top the 3DS, but I think it would just be kind of interesting.
The thing that Nintendo does better on their mobile devices that Sony just fucking couldn't figure out is that their major first-party titles had games on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, they were all represented on their mobile device. Like, freaking Smash Brothers on the DS, I was like, that's genius. Like,
yeah.
Why not do that? That is,
and the fact that they made that compatible with the Wii U, too.
Mm-hmm.
They had PlayStation All-Stars, man.
You really want to talk about that, man?
Yeah.
that game was phenomenal, right?
Oh yeah, way better than Smash Bros.
Well, Gary, keeping in line with the first party stuff, how wasn't Killzone Mercenaries a good game on Vita?
Yeah, that's what they should have did more of, because Killzone Mercenaries was great, and it was different to the console version. Like, it was something completely new for the device, and they should have did more of that instead of just like trying to put out games that we were already seeing on the console anyway.
Do you guys remember the Call of Duty that came out for the PSP? And it was apparently like awful.
Yeah, I do remember that actually. You talking about the when they released Ghost.
Was it when? Was it when they released Ghosts?
Oh,
I
actually,
don't recall when
No,
it
no, no,
was.
no, 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 no. It wasn't good.
Yeah,
No,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, this is another Call of Duty game. It's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was supposed to be like a system seller for it, and then the game did awful. So
Yeah,
that
because
didn't
I'm
help
like,
it at all.
we don't need like when you're playing these mobile titles. Like sometimes there's gonna be times where you're sitting there with that handheld device and you spend as much time as you would on the console.
Yep.
But a lot of the times that's not going to be the case. So you have to structure those games to be played in little chunks. Like
Yeah.
pick it up, play through a part, put it down. And just I don't know. I guess no one just could understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like RPGs work really well because you have it with you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a long-term investment. But trying to play through a shooter like Call of Duty, man, first-person shooters on mobile devices rarely ever did well at all.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, like the best shooter I played on a mobile device was Siphon Filter. They're like second or third game. Like out of all the games, Siphon Filter was the one that got it right with a mobile game. I was like, where the fuck did this come from? And,
Yeah, that was like a PS2
yeah, and it worked well. Played well, had the control scheme down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, no shooters on the NX, please.
No,
Splatoon, give me Splatoon on the NX.
Yeah, they'll definitely have Splatoon on there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do in regards to bringing some of their later Wii U games to the NX. Because I know Zelda's releasing on both the NX and the Wii U, and apparently it's supposed to be the exact same experience.
I think they should definitely bring Smash over as well, because that has a big community that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
like you can't abandon that at all. I'm really curious how the fuck the Zelda game is going to fit on a portable device.
Yeah.
And like not only that, how is it going to fit and not die after playing for 30 minutes?
That's true.
Like,
That's very true.
I'm so excited to
think
find out
about that.
how that shit works. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing needs a good battery. Holy shit, I literally didn't even consider that until right now.
Yeah. The battery's going to have to be a monster on this thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, perhaps it will come with one of those chargers that, like the chargers you can use where you don't have to plug it into the wall. It gives you.
Oh yeah, like a phone case charger.
Like
They'll
the
sell
Mophis.
that as an accessory.
They better not, man. Because if I get it and it doesn't last more than like 30 minutes or an hour, you
They
lost.
can't make it that way. I really hope not. That would be awful. That would like ruin the console right then and there for a lot of people.
And that'd be a console killer
Yep.
immediately.
Well,
Another thing is screen size, like how, because it's gonna have to be big enough for you to be able to enjoy these type of games, but then it has to be small enough for you to be able to carry it and play it, like, when you're out and about and stuff.
Yeah,
that's true.
it's a lot of things that are gonna be like they probably spent millions on R&D for this, whatever it is,
Yeah.
because it's like I don't know if it's true that it has controllers attached that you can detach from it or whatever, but that would be pretty badass. But then you got to consider how big is that screen when you detach it. How big is that screen? Is it going to be big enough that two players can play it on that same screen and be fine? Like it would be fine for like Smash Brothers because it's not split screen. But what if it's Splatoon? You know what I'm saying? Like so many things they would have had to figure out. We don't work in that area. We just see it from the consumer perspective. But like this could legitimately be groundbreaking, and I'm excited as hell. And like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the fact that they're being so secretive about it too makes me think that they just have something really awesome that we've never seen before packed up their sleeves.
And they don't want anybody to steal it from them.
Yep. I can't imagine they'd be this secretive otherwise. Like I've never seen this kind of secrecy before with a console like this. This is unreal.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess we'll find out sooner rather than later, because yeah, Zelda's coming out beginning of, well, they said 2017. I don't know if it's still March or whenever, but the device is coming out next year also, so we need some information sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One thing that came up in the conversations. How do you think that they'll deal with today's culture of day one patches and updates and firmware?
Hmm. Good question.
Yeah,
I would have to
because
guess they just won't do it. Like
That's
they've al-
that's my guess also.
yeah.
yeah,
Like
because
they,
like Nintendo are usually good with testing their games before releasing them, and they're usually not buggy and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you'll never hear of a first party buggy game from Nintendo.
third party devs are going to be under the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like y'all ain't giving us no half ass game at launch. It's gonna have to fit on this SD card day one. This cartridge or whatever the hell, day one.
And like, yeah, we joke about that, but the thing is, that could turn a lot of developers off at the
It
same time, which
could,
would
but
suck.
then like, oh, that's crazy. That's so like when you really think about it, that's so fucked up. Like
Yeah,
devs are gonna be turned away because they have to do their jobs.
and do
Like that's
something unique.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's an oversimplification, but seriously, we're tired of day one patches. While it is convenient, make your fucking game. Make
Yeah.
it cut back on some of this extra shit that you're trying to do, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Like, make the game. Stop trying to make DLC that we're gonna purchase months later at day one. Like, just make the game.
Yeah. Honestly, though.
Absolutely. All right, so
yo, real quick, shouts to Black Star. He's in the live chat. He said he thinks a 5-inch screen like the Vita screen is good for NX. So shouts to him.
oh yeah,
Interesting. Even for
yeah,
split screen.
yeah. What's up, Black Star? That's an interesting answer. Um, all right, so you guys want to move on to the final topic for today's show. Um, Gary, I'm gonna let you introduce this particular topic since a lot of people think for some reason that you dislike PlayStation. So why
Mhm.
don't you reiterate to us why this topic is important?
Yeah, I like that you said reiterate there because that's exactly what Shuhei Yoshida had to do. You know, Shuhei Yoshida, he had to reiterate the fact that the PSVR will work with the current version of the PlayStation 4 system, and it would work with future PlayStation systems. So he's basically talking about the Neo there when he mentioned that. So yeah, the question that I raised because of this is like, why should he even have to reiterate this? Like, are they confusing people with all this new hardware they're putting out? I mean, PlayStation VR, the Neo is still rumored to release this year, which I find crazy because they haven't talked about it. So like, I don't know, like I don't know if it's really going to release this year because they should have said something by now. But yeah, do you feel like this whole model is really confusing people right now? Because I don't see like the casual consumer being able to figure out, like, say you're a parent and you have a child who wants PlayStation VR, you go to the store, like are they going to know exactly what they need? Like, are they going to get confused and think they have to buy the PlayStation Neo as well, and that this will cost them like $800 or something to get everything? Like, well, there's a lot of things that need to be answered here. So yeah, I just wanted to see what you guys thought of that.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's something we talked about back, was it like 2 or 3 episodes ago when we were talking about the Scorpio too, and when we were first talking about the Neo, we brought up that topic, and yeah, that's very true. I don't know how the stores or Sony is gonna make this clearer to the consumers, because, and I said this before, they are going to be wanting to sell the Neo over anything, so I feel like that's the thing they would push. because they're not going to release this console and not advertise it the most. You know what I mean?
I would like to offer a recommendation to Sony, and they more than likely will not listen to this podcast, so it may fall on deaf ears. But if they want to differentiate the Neo from the regular PlayStation 4, I have a very simple solution. Just bundle PlayStation VR with the Neo and release and make that, and that will be the Neo SKU that comes with PlayStation VR, whereas you have the regular PlayStation 4, which will remain the same. That would be my recommendation, but then again, I'm not sure how much more expensive it would be to do that if you're trying to release the system at a reasonable price point. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, and then you got all the accessories like the PlayStation Move, the camera, all this stuff. I assume that there's going to be bundles with, you know, the PlayStation VR and those items in particular. But like, there's just so much to all of this, and like I feel like Sony hasn't spent the time needed to educate everyone on, you know, what's exactly needed.
Yeah. Because if people like us are confused about it, I can't imagine people who don't follow this stuff at all.
All right.
I gotta say, being devil's advocate to a bit, Sony really has only said as much as fucking Nintendo said about the NX so far. Everything has been speculation when it comes to PlayStation Neo. Like, it wasn't on the E3 stage. They're not talking about it on purpose. And like, I remember when the first bits of details came out about it, I just took it at that. Like, that's all the information that we have. And it said in that thing that it's going to work. VR is going to work on both devices. The new device is going to be better optimized to run with VR, but one of the main sticking point for this new console was 4K content, and the game's allowing 4K, and that's all I'm looking at it as. Like, people are trying to make it out to be a bigger thing, mainly because of Microsoft and their whole revolutionary new console to end all consoles bullshit. But I don't think Sony ever intended for it to be anything like that. This is just going to be the PS4K, and it'll run a little bit smoother with VR. Simple as that. When they start talking about it and dropping commercials for it and bringing it on their stages, it'll clear all of that up for sure. But on the VR tip, they've said for a long time, VR is going to work on both. You do not have to get a new console for VR. You will have to get a new console if you want 4K, but 4K hasn't even pierced the market that heavily just yet. So you have 4K, get it. If you don't, do not buy this new console.
Okay, but like, okay, so the Neo is supposed to run the VR like much better than, you know, the regular
It's much better.
PS4, but so like as a consumer, you're like, okay, so why should I buy it now? Like, why shouldn't I just wait?
What is much better though? We don't even know how it's optimized to run VR better.
And this is what they should be talking about.
Yeah, but they're not talking. Why? Why are we forcing them to talk about
Because
it? Nintendo's not even
PlayStation
talking NX
VR,
right now.
PlayStation VR is coming out this year. It's coming
Yes,
out in
it
a
is.
couple months, in a few months.
Yeah,
But
probably
the-
holiday
the-
season.
I do have a response to this. I'm gonna let Charles finish first.
I was just gonna say, like, everybody's kind of filling the void, like this absence of information with like this concern for the VR. Like,
They
I'm pretty
wouldn't
sure
be concerned if they talked about it.
they are talking about it. Everything that they've shown with VR has been on the PlayStation 4, not the Neo. It's all been shown on the regular PlayStation 4. There's legitimately no concern, like no issues with how they've been running on PlayStation 4 right now. For all we know, the optimization could be user interface on the next PlayStation, on the PS Neo. But right now, people are going to E3, they're going to these events, they're watching these videos, and it's running on the PS4. Now, if it were the other way around, I'd understand that there's concern. Like, say, for instance, they come out and was like, hey, all this VR stuff we've been showing is on Neo, but we promise the PlayStation 4 is going to be able to run this shit. Then we can start asking some questions. Like, is it really going to run it? Is it going to run it at half the fucking frame rate? Like, then you can start asking a lot of questions, but that's not the case. Everything that we've seen VR related from Sony has only been on the PlayStation 4. So if you're not satisfied with what you've seen, then you probably weren't going to buy the PS4 in the first place. I don't think the difference between the PS4 and the Neo is going to make you want to buy PlayStation 4. VR if you weren't already planning to get it. It's not going to change your mind. It's not going to be that much of a difference between them.
So I have a quick comment to make. So I know that Gary, you brought up about there's been a lack of information about the Neo. Yeah, they have not revealed anything yet. But I would also say, it just like with the NX, and just like I said last week, the same thing could be said about the Xbox One S, because the thing with the One S is that, yes, you hear it has all this stuff, these improvements, but I have not seen a demonstration that actually shows me what is the difference between buying this console and just playing the games on regular Xbox One. And Microsoft has not done their job either to give any information about that. I'm pretty sure that when they, actually reveal the Scorpio next year, they are going to have, they're going to probably do a better job of explaining, because they have to sell people on that all of next E3 as to why you may want this device. So, yes. But I think that for now, with the Xbox One, it's like I said, I've been to a couple of sites. I've been looking for information on the Xbox One. I understand that there's a certain type of TV that you need, besides it being a 4K, but there's different types of 4K quality TVs that you need that will specifically work with that system. And I haven't seen Microsoft say anything about any of this information, so that lack of information is not good.
With them, for the S, I think it's going to be, it's the same situation as like the Neo and the PS4. Is like, there's not going to be a difference really. This is just a smaller one. But for the Scorpio, I'm telling you, I said it before, this is going to bite Microsoft in the ass. Their entire E3 showing is going to bite them in the ass, because like, what's going to happen next year? Neo's going to be brought on stage, and they're going to be like, the Neo is just the fucking PlayStation 4K. That's all it is. This is a premium thing. If you want it, get it. If you don't have a 4K TV, this is not going to benefit you in any means. They are putting all of their shit behind the regular ass PlayStation 4, and it might be a price drop. Microsoft's going to get on stage and talk all this teraflop bullshit about the damn Scorpio, and then we're going to find out it's not even that different, and it's going to be like, oh shit, like they got hoodwinked about fucking Sony because of the damn Neo. It's like they panicked. It was like, oh, PlayStation 4 is making the Neo. All money rerouted to fucking R&D. Let's get some shit together. We're making the next best everything modular console, teraflop times 9. Hell yes. And it's got to be on E3 stage now. And they're going to get fucked. Like, as a console, you're behind in the sales, which I always point out to people. A lot of this conversation about the console war is only fun and only relevant to us. Mm-hmm. They are making billions of dollars. All of them are. Even Nintendo, with their Wii U, is technically a failure because it's following the trend of the Dreamcast, but they also have the DS. We cannot forget that. Sega didn't have a fucking portable at that time to back them up when the Dreamcast shit itself. Nintendo has that. And, like, just fuck. I lost my train of thought.
I mean, like, it's a risk for both companies. Like, it's not just Microsoft, because, like, the thing is, like, the Scorpio, I'm not a fan of the Scorpio or the Neo, for one, but the Scorpio is going to be the more powerful system. And currently we're seeing people make fun of Microsoft and games on the Xbox because they have a 900p resolution. Okay, so what if games start to run way better on the Scorpio than on any PlayStation system, and maybe people will start to look at Xbox more then because the games run better on that system. So it's a risk for both companies.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the risk factor. You're behind. You shouldn't be the ones trying to make a brand new console when, from the consumer's perspective, y'all are losing right now. That's what I was trying to get at. Like your console is probably losing you third-party deals, but you're giving us a new console that's supposed to revolutionize consoles. It would make more sense if Sony was like, hey, we got this fucking ridiculous ass lead. Let's cash in on this shit and give them a whole new console. But they're not. I am 90% confident that this new PlayStation 4 is just the 4K. Because, just look at the name. It's called PlayStation 4 Neo. Not PlayStation Neo as in code name for the next PlayStation. Unlike... is the Microsoft one? Is it called Xbox One Scorpion or is it Xbox Scorpio?
I don't think we know yet.
Project Scorpio at the moment.
It's just called Project Scorpio.
But is that what it's going to be when it releases though?
No. I know that's not going to be what it releases now. And the Neo is not going to be called the Neo when it releases either. Just looking at those names, this is just a small detail.
Yeah.
Xbox One S. Small S version of Xbox One. PlayStation 4 Neo. This is just another version of the 4. Project Scorpio. Whole nother fucking monster. Or it's supposed to be. Will it be? Don't know. But
sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, I have to imagine that it'll just be kind of like the Neo upgrade, but just more powerful. I don't know, but it's also interesting to point out because, like you said, the PS4 is more powerful already than the Xbox One. So I have to imagine the Scorpio will just be a more powerful Xbox One to compete with the PS4. I really hope that it's not like them trying to lead into this whole new generation of consoles, like trying to just skip ahead. That'd be awful.
These consoles.
That's the language they're using.
These consoles are basically both companies saying, "Oh shit, we fucked up. We shouldn't have released the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One when we released it. We should have waited another 2 years." That's basically what they're saying.
I can agree with that.
That's what I imagine it as.
They should have waited. I complained about it when they even announced the new consoles. I felt like the PlayStation 3 had so much more life, and I mean it did. If you look at the games that came out after the 4 was released. It did. Xbox 360 was the same route. And it's just the language that they're using is going to set them up for disappointment. While, leaked information, PlayStation Neo, 4K, better optimization for VR. If the Scorpio comes out and that's all it is for them, if they come out and it's the exact same as the Neo, 4K support, optimized for VR because they have the Oculus partnership right now that I assume they would be utilizing for the Scorpio. They're setting themselves up for a more disappointing thing because it's just the same as the Neo, but y'all were on stage saying that y'all about to change consoles forever. This is the next thing. People started thinking it's going to be interchangeable like PC. They opened themselves up to get fucking destroyed by the media, basically.
I think it's also interesting to point out, kind of like how the Wii U, there were people that didn't know this was another console. People thought it was almost like an add-on to the Wii, and this is kind of that same thing.
That was a terrible decision by Nintendo to call it the Wii.
It was awful.
It
was very awful.
That shit should have been Nintendo Scorpio.
Yep.
It should have been something not Wii because and then the way it looked when it was shown is oh yeah, this is definitely just an add-on to the fucking Wii. They just ruined themselves. It's not like the games that came out afterwards would have helped them that much more, but Yeah, they ruined it. Their whole marketing
Well,
for that was just stupid.
Yes, it was. Especially, and that's crazy because the marketing for the Wii was brilliant, absolutely
Yep.
brilliant, and then they just went and fucked it up. But
Yeah.
whatever.
I think the Wii U name it made perfect sense because it was a fu to the fans, to the supporters. That's why, but they had to keep it kid friendly, so they say Wii U instead of fu. So there you
Yeah, there you go. That's funny. That's really
Ridiculous.
funny.
Okay, so yeah, something else that really hasn't been explained is this whole space that you need for the PlayStation VR when you're playing.
Oh, yeah,
Does
you need
anyone-
like 61 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much is that? How are you able to tell me how much is 61 feet inside a room? Because
Kind of a lot.
It's a lot of
I
space.
don't like 61 feet. I don't even think we had 61 feet at fucking E3 to try VR out. Like, why is this?
Yeah, I don't
Like
have
that-
that in my bedroom right now. I
No,
definitely don't.
61 feet is not. That can't be. You need a fucking holodeck room for just
Yeah.
VR? Like, no.
I think it's probably some kind of miscommunication, but it's definitely something that should be explained though, because now you've got people thinking whether they should even buy it because they might not have the space for it.
It's probably you have to be within 61 feet for the shit to work,
Oh wait, no, it was 61 square feet.
which is even worse.
Here.
That is
Well,
61 square. Like, do people realize how big that is?
Yeah. No, I'm
Well-
looking at the image right now, and it's not enough. Or I don't have that much room. It's a lot of room. You need a lot of room.
Well, I think that I'm not sure when they're going to be able to talk about this because they decided they're not going to have a show at Gamescom, and this device is supposed to come out in October. So, a Tokyo Game Show, perhaps. I don't know when they're going to talk about that particular aspect, but they definitely going to have to talk about it because you got to show people. I was going to ask if you guys know how much space do you need for the HTC Vive.
I have no clue.
The Vive probably needs a good bit of space too, because there's a couple things that they have that you have to set up for it.
Yeah, you got the sensors and all the other stuff. So
It
yeah,
it may also depend on the type of game you play because some require you to be more active than others, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, some might just be a straight up sit down and play experience, and some might require you to like wave your arms around and do things. So I don't know.
I'm looking up the
depends.
Vive now.
Because you got to use the camera with these things, so like the camera needs to be able to get a good view of everything that's going on to track everything.
Yeah, that's just reminding me of when the Kinect first came out on the 360, and you needed a decent amount of room, and even when you had that amount of room, it hardly fucking worked.
All right, so Vive says that at a minimum, you need 5 feet by 6.5.
Uh-oh.
And then some games require much more, up to 3 meters by 3 meters.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, see, I mean, this is my point. Like, all this stuff is stuff that needs to be explained. Because if you're gonna pay that much for a new device, like, you want to be sure of everything.
Yeah, really.
And that would, to kind of give y'all an idea, that is, let me see, 9 by 9. So that is a fucking lot.
I'm pretty sure that everybody is going to be picking up PlayStation Neo, so they'll make the room for using the device.
Because the Vive, that's freaking 81 square feet is what that is.
Damn.
That's at max, because it said the normal is just 5 by 6.
Wow.
Interesting.
And that's just 30, which that makes that kind of gives me That's what I think I've seen, like from the areas that I've seen out at like PAX and E3. The spaces weren't that huge that people were playing in. And 30 square feet, that sounds about right. That sounds like a living room.
Yeah.
The space that you would have to play in would be about that much space. But 80 or 60? Shit. Better move the couch back.
Well, I definitely want to ask this question. So is everybody here absolutely, positively, definitely getting the PlayStation Neo?
I don't have a 4K TV. So
I don't have a PlayStation.
Yeah, actually, I don't have that either right now.
Oh.
I'm on PC, so
Yeah,
I'll probably get the Oculus.
I'm not getting it because I'm disappointed. I'm sticking with my PC.
Okay, so this is a question for Max. So Max, are you planning on getting an Xbox One S?
No, I am definitely not getting the S. Maybe the Scorpio. Doubtful on the Scorpio, but definitely not the S. I have no need for it.
All right, well, there you go.
Yeah. If one was given to me, I would gladly accept it, but no, I'm not going to buy one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, with the Scorpio, like it makes even less sense for Max to get it, or me, or Gary for that matter. Like, at best case, Scorpio turns out to be like a PC.
Exactly.
Then why the hell would we need it? Because if I get a Scorpio and it's like a PC, but I can't use Steam on it, what is the fucking purpose?
Yeah. And I know they're trying to do their whole integration with Xbox and PC, and maybe the Scorpio is just a step towards that more than anything. I don't fucking know, but...
Yeah. But then if they don't have the Steam partnership, this is going to go the way of a Steam box.
No, yeah, they're trying to do their whole Windows store with everything.
Yeah, which is not big enough.
No, it's not. And no one wants to switch from Steam. I don't want to switch from Steam. I have no desire to do that. And no one's going. They're too late to the game for that one.
Yep. You better make a partnership with Steam or you're ass out. You're done.
And Sony has a partnership with them, too. I don't know if that's exclusive or anything, but, you know, like, remember even Portal 2 was cross-buy on Steam and PS4.
Yep, I do recall.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still a thing, but
yeah, I don't know either.
While watching E3 this last year and seeing that they were doing all of these play on Windows 10 things, I was like, Sony has to respond with a partnership with Steam if they want to compete in that way. If they don't, then don't. But if you want to make some kind of wave, a partnership with Steam would do that.
Yeah. Well, I think they're also waiting to see if anything will even come from Microsoft wanting to do all this too.
True.
Because I can't say if there will or not, if anything will come of it or not.
Nothing will come from it, you said.
I don't even think Sony needs a partnership with Steam. Like, I feel like Sony, if they wanted to, right, they could get into PC gaming on their own. Like, they could release PlayStation Network on PC and sell their games exclusively on PlayStation Network on PC, you know, so that you could play Uncharted on your PC, but you have to get it from them.
But that's gonna do the same thing as Xbox Live. You get the same
exactly.
That I just said. Yeah, like don't do it. Maybe they should just stick to what they're doing currently. Just make the partnerships with the indie devs. Because if I buy Rocket League on Steam, I'm still playing with PlayStation 4 players currently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they could just keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, there needs to be a lot more games that bring that feature. Because I know a couple of developers are interested in that, but we'll see whether or not Sony and Microsoft, if the approvals go through.
They need to find a way not to like in their marketing and PR room. There has to be a guy in there like, hey, we can't do anything that would even look like we're trying to compete with Steam because we're gonna lose that. Like, we won't win that one ever. Like, there's no chance of them taking over that area or even piercing a significant portion of that market. Anything they do needs to be a partnership with Steam, not competition with Steam.
Yeah. Yeah, even EA tried it, and the only reason Origin kind of works is because EA has all those properties that everyone wants. But they're the only other ones who could have done that in the first place, and that isn't even working out super well for them.
And also, very few people give a shit about EA's properties on PC.
Exactly, yeah. They care about Battlefield.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty much it.
Battlefield and Mass Effect and Dragon Age.
Oh, Dragon Age. Yeah.
And with all due respect, allow me to take this moment to say screw EA, because I still haven't forgotten about EA Play. So,
and also, Mass Effect and Dragon Age are on Steam.
The third one isn't. Third Mass Effect is not.
Yeah, the third one and Inquisition as well.
Yeah, I don't think Inquisition's on there.
Inquisition.
I think Inquisition is.
I have it up right now.
I thought it was.
Oh, it is?
No, it is. No? It is not. Actually, I think did they take Dragon Age? What? Dragon Age 2 isn't even on here.
I thought I saw advertisements for Dragon Age Inquisition all the fucking time on Steam.
Wait a second. You said Dragon Age 2 isn't on there?
It's not anymore. I think it used to be, but I can't unless it's the search function isn't working.
Well, maybe that's a good thing if it's not on there, because that game significantly different from the first game. Significantly different from the first game.
What are you trying to say?
What?
What are you trying to say?
I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of that second game.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game wasn't all that, but I like the story though.
Yeah. So, hey, well, any final thoughts? I believe we've said a lot on the topic, so I don't know if anybody has any last things they want to say.
No,
I'm pretty good.
I'm interested to see what the people are gonna say. So.
Yeah, and let me give a shout out to the people. They definitely, I want to see some comments, because last week there was a lot that was discussed, a lot of interesting topics. So I will hope that they definitely will respond to this one, because what they're going to do is they're going to see the title, and that's instantly going to start a conversation. They're going to be going, why are you talking about PlayStation? Why are you talking about PlayStation?
Yeah. Oh, and let me just say that, last week we had, an Xbox kind of title, where we was questioning something on Xbox, and nobody said anything. Like, Torrance had a troll comment, like he was basically making fun of somebody else, but nobody said anything. But whenever we do something PlayStation related in the title, a question about Sony or PlayStation, that's when people want to say certain things. So I just wanted to say that.
And let me add on one more piece to that, because the same applies to Nintendo, because the Throwdown guys had a very controversial title with their last episode, talking about the fall of the Nintendo Empire. I haven't seen not one person complain about the Nintendo. So you see what I'm saying? Yes. It's all about PlayStation. These fans who know who they are, so I look forward to seeing what they have to say to back up those claims. But, yeah, I think that pretty much concludes our show for this week. You have any final shout-outs that you guys would like to give? How about you go first, Mr. Singletary?
Follow me on Twitter, THE_CSJR, the CSJR. And also on all of my gaming stuff, it's _Profex. That could be Twitch, that could be Steam, that's my PlayStation network account, even though I'm very rarely on there now because I have to use it on other people's stuff. But check that out. Hit charleswritesthings.com for some cool shit. But mainly, if you just follow me on Twitter, you'll see just about everything that I do. Whether that annoys you or not, I can't help you. But yeah, and you'll see more writings on the Koalition.com. We'll be doing the Knights of the Turntable podcast. We're bringing that back. We're doing kind of a long hiatus just because schedules for all of us suck right now during the summer. And I think Gary wants to bring back Knights of the Turntable, the arena as well, and discuss battle rap a lot more. So look out for that. And also, just follow me on Twitter. I'll tell you all the other shit on there.
All right. How about you, Max? Any final shout-outs?
Not really. If anyone wants to add me on Xbox or Steam, I'm Maximal on there. Other than that, nope.
Okay, so Mole, is that Mole?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Maxemole.
All right, there you go. There you go. Sounds good. How about you, Gary?
Shouts to, all the Patreon supporters and stuff, and shouts to everyone who, entered the contest that we had, to win No Man's Sky and stuff like that. And shouts to all the people that comment, every week and on the show and stuff, and everybody who listens. Shouts to Black Star as well in the live chat. And also shouts to The Finest, because he was in the chat earlier. So shouts to you guys. That's about it, really.
Awesome. Sounds good. And also would like to give a shout out to the fans as well. You reminded me, Gary, about the No Man's Sky contest. Yes, we did have a winner. I want to see if I can pull up his name real quick. I believe his name is JT. But that's the name that he used. That's the only name he used. So congratulations on winning, JT. I will be in contact with you with details regarding the game. And thank everybody for signing up for the giveaway. We will be having more coming up. There's one coming up next month that I don't know you may be interested in. It has to do with a certain game featuring one of Gary's most favorite characters that he actually wrote an article about. So stay tuned for that. But yes, that concludes this show's week. Hope you guys have a great week ahead, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Peace out.
See you, everyone.
Add me on